Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and here are my top tips and settings that every PS5 owner needs to know. These are the settings that will help you get the most out of your PS5 or your PS5 Pro this year, whether you've had it since launch or you've just joined the club. So grab your favourite controller, hit subscribe and let's jump straight in. So I think we can all agree that this sound is awesome, as it means we're about to sit down and play some games. But there are times that this is far too loud and might get you some unwanted attention. Well, the good news is you can reduce how loud the beep is or turn it off completely. All you need to do is go into the settings, then system and beep and light, and in here you can either drop it from high to medium or low, or mute the beep completely. From now on, every time you turn your PS5 on, you won't hear the beep and you can game in stealth mode. And talking of powering on your PS5, this is how the startup screen and the animation looks when you turn it on. It's just a standard black screen with the PlayStation logo. However, there is a simple way that you can have your PS5 look like this instead with the classic PlayStation Retro startup. Head over to the main settings and choose the 30th anniversary option at the top. Now in here, if you choose any of these options, it gives the PS5 a retro look on the dashboard, but it also gives you a new startup screen. Now each time you power it on, you'll not only get the original PS1 boot up screen, but you'll also get this awesome sound as well. Now, PlayStation have said that this is a limited setting, so no idea if and when it will be removed, but as of today, it does work on every PS5. Okay, so last year, PlayStation gave us this new dashboard on the home screen called the Welcome tab. On here, we get loads of widgets for things like trophies, battery status, online friends, and console storage. But did you know that you can customize the layout of this area either using profiles, where at a click of a button you can swap between different preset modes, or by editing the layout yourself? So by pressing R3, it brings up a list of widgets that you can enable or disable. Then by hovering over each widget and pressing the L1 or R1, you can change the size of each one and square to change the position. So I like to have my trophies and console storage on mine, but you can mess around with this as much as you'd like and rearrange them anywhere on the screen. And if you do have more than one storage option installed, well, you can choose which option you want to show here. Also, you can change the wallpaper of this area as well. All you need to do is tap the background icon at the top and either use the default wallpapers they provided, like this one that comes with the PS5 Pro, or this 30th anniversary one that looks really clean. Or you can even apply any images there in your media library. Now it defaults to the favorites tab, but you can change this option and show all of the images on your PS5. This includes screenshots or trophies that you've got in games, or any images that you've added to your PS5. So here's one that I made on my laptop, which then means I can copy it onto a USB drive, plug it into the PS5 and then screenshot that image. This means that you are able to add pretty much any image you'd like here, including the ones you make yourself. So I've got the GTA 6 wallpaper here, or I could go with a PlayStation logo or some game art. And this is a really cool way to customize your home screen until we get proper dynamic themes. Also, if you really wanted to, you could remove all of the widgets on here and just have that wallpaper alone. And while we're talking about the dashboard, every time you hover over a different game tile, the theme music will play. Now, although I do like this, there might be times that you don't, so you can go ahead and disable this from playing altogether. All you have to do is head over to settings and sound and audio output and toggle this one off. Now, as you tab through the games on your home screen, you'll no longer hear the theme music for each game. In fact, you won't hear any music at all on the PS5. Now, did you know that by default the mic on your DualSense controller is on? This means every time you power it on, everything you say is being recorded or shared to your party or online lobbies. And that's before you get a chance to mute yourself or plug your headset in. Well, don't worry, you can change this so your mic is automatically muted as soon as your controller is switched on. Just go to sound and microphone, then change the mic status when logged in from on to mute. Then when you're ready to, you can just unmute yourself and chat with your mates. Also, if you press and hold the mute button, it mutes your mic and all of the audio at the same time. This is perfect if you need to mute your TV speakers or your headphones. And talking about the DualSense, here are a couple of power saving tips which should help you keep your controller alive for a little bit longer. First up is when you're not using it, you can have the controller auto power off so you're not wasting battery. This is under System and Power Saving. You can choose between 10 minutes and 60 minutes or disable the option altogether. But I always have mine set to 10 minutes, so it means if I'm away from my setup, I know the controller will power off pretty quickly. And while you're there, the same for the console. This is useful if you're away from your setup for longer than you expected, and it means that the console will power down after you've been away for say an hour or two. Another tip for saving power is to disable the controller settings that you do not need or use, as every setting will contribute to draining the battery while you use it. So this is under Accessories and Controller, where you can tweak things like the haptic feedback or vibration module, adaptive triggers, internal speaker, and even the LED lights on the controller. They can all be disabled in the main settings, and also by turning some of these off, you will preserve a little bit more battery while gaming, especially if you don't need them. And you like free things, right? Well, you need to make sure that you are signed up to PlayStation Stars. This is on the PlayStation app and it basically gamifies playing games. So there are challenges each month that you need to complete, and you can either earn collectibles to store in your very own virtual cabinet like this, or you can win coins or points that you can spend on games or real store credit. Now, you will need to enroll in each challenge as they will not automatically add you, but some of these are for playing games and doing things that you would have done anyway. So here's one. Play any of this month's PlayStation Plus games and you will earn 50 points. That's it. All you need to do is press start and I will automatically get 50 points for playing one of these games. You can then go to the rewards tab and it will show you what you can spend your points on. So for example, 800 points for a digital collectible. Or what I normally do is spend them on either games, like there's quite a few in here now, or on wallet funds, so 1,250 points gets me £5. So I've got at least £20 worth of points here that if I redeemed it, I could then spend it on anything on the PlayStation Store. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on PlayStation Stars, as you're usually paid for games that you were going to play or buy anyway. Next up, you want to make sure that you're getting the best visual out of your PS5. Whether you're using it on a TV or monitor, let's double check that you've got the right settings for your screen. So head over to Screen and Video and click the information for the connected HDMI device. This will then tell you what your TV or monitor is actually capable of displaying. So if it's a 1080p, 1440p or 4K display, as well as what frame rate it can actually run at. So on mine, it shows I can do the full 2160p, 120Hz, HDR and VRR. Although as I'm running this through a capture card today, it's not showing the correct details, but on the monitor it obviously is. From here, once you've gathered that information, you want to head back to the resolution settings and ensure you've selected the correct resolution, so in my case that's 4K, as well as making sure you've got VRR, HDR and 120Hz selected as well. And once you've got all of these selected, at least you then know that you're getting the most out of your PS5 and the screen that you're using. Right, so adding more storage to your PS5 isn't cheap, so here's a way to free up space on your PS5 for absolutely nothing, and space you probably didn't even know existed. Firstly, every single time you get a trophy in a game, it takes a screenshot and records a short video of you unlocking it. That's pretty cool, but also takes up space on your console. So if you head over to Settings and Storage, you'll notice there's one category called Media Gallery. This contains all of your screenshots, screen recordings, and trophies that you've collected over the years. Now, there will of course be media in here that you do want to keep, but there's also going to be a lot in here that you really don't need. Firstly, you can go through and delete all of the ones that you don't need, and that will save you space immediately. Then you can prevent these auto recordings from happening again. So go to Settings and Captures and Broadcasts, and then Captures. If you scroll down to the bottom, there is a section called Trophy, and in here it shows you the screenshots and videos that it records for every trophy that you unlock. Change this from all trophies to something like Platinum and Gold only, and you will no longer get video clips or screenshots for every single trophy that you get. For me, I'm not too bothered about the bronze and the silver trophies, so it's easy for me to disable that. But if you're not bothered about any of the screen recordings for any of your trophies, just turn them all off. And talking of trophies, another cool trick, especially if you are a trophy hunter, is being able to display the hidden ones at a press of a button. So normally when you scroll through your list of trophies, you get loads of hidden ones, where you then have to press the Show Hidden Trophy on every single one. Well, if you press the menu button on the controller before jumping into the full list, you can reveal all hidden trophies. And don't forget, you can pin up to 5 trophies to your quick menu for each game. And this is super useful if you're playing a game and you don't want to keep jumping back into the full list of trophies, as you can see the important ones pinned right at the top. Now, when it comes to the privacy settings on the PS5, there are quite a few worth checking out. So head over to User and Accounts and then Privacy, and view and customize your privacy settings. And then what you want to do is double check that you're happy with the information that you're sharing with not only your friends, but friends of friends and the public. Like, do you want your trophy list or the games that you've played to be publicly available for everybody to see? Because this not only shows you what games you've played, but the timestamps that you've unlocked your trophies. And this might not be something you want shared. Now, even if you do share your activity with all of your friends, you can still go ahead and hide certain games from your playlist, so nobody knows the games that you might not want them to see. And the same goes for your friends list. Like, I don't mind sharing what games I'm playing or the trophies that I've got to my friends, but I've hidden my actual friends list. This means no one is able to see who I'm friends with, sort of protecting their privacy as well. But my only real advice is go through this list of settings and make sure you're happy with what's being shared, especially if you've got children. Lock this down and disable any of the everyone or public options. And talking of privacy, do you ever just want to jump on a game, but as soon as you do, your mate sends you that party invite or game invite, which you're just not in the mood for? Or you want to play a game but not show anyone that you're playing right now? Well, when you turn your PS5 on and you get to this screen, instead of pressing your account, tap the menu button on your controller and choose Appear Offline. It will now log you in and you won't pop up on your friends list and no one knows you're playing. Now, if you are the only person who uses your PS5 and you're not too bothered about the whole Appear Offline trick, you might want to speed things up when logging in. Head to Settings and a User and Accounts, Login Settings, and then down here you can toggle this setting on. Now, each time you turn your PS5 on, it will skip the user selection screen and take you straight to the Explore tab, saving you a whopping 3 seconds. And here's a cool one. Did you know that you can change the name of your console to anything? So in System, System Software and Console Information, you'll see that it's called something random like PS5 123. That's pretty boring, so you can change this to whatever you'd want. Maybe a game character name, favourite movie, or just where it is in your house. And this is super useful if you've got more than one PS5 in your house and you often open up the PlayStation app and you're not sure which console you want to download your games to. Now, if you do end up changing this name, let me know what name you've gone with. Now, although most of these tips today will of course work on every version of the PS5, including the original, Slim and the Pro, well, this next one is for the PS5 Pro users. So you can now check and search for PS5 Pro enhanced games on the store by going to Collections, scrolling down to the bottom and choosing PS5 Pro enhanced games. This will then show you all of the games which have been upgraded with better resolution or frame rate settings, and as you can see, there are quite a lot in here already. Oh, and if you want your PS4 games to look even better on the PS5 Pro, there is an option called Enhance Image Quality for PS4 games, and bizarrely, this is off by default. Now, it's actually under Screen and Video and then Video Output. Make sure this is on and your PS4 games will look that little bit sharper. And talking of games, if there's ever a game that you want to buy but maybe not today, add it to your wish list by tapping this icon. Now, every game that you add to this will show up in this list on the store, and if it's ever discounted or in a sale, you will get a notification on the app. And this is useful for pre-orders as well because it will let you know once the game is available to buy or download. You can of course remove any games by tapping the menu icon and then remove. Okay, so back to the Explore tab, we have this widget called News. This shows us recent news about all of the games that you've played or that you've shown interest in. And you can actually customize which games show up on this tab, or which games you get updates from by tapping the square icon and seeing the full list of games that you already follow. Simply unfollow the games that you don't want to see updates from, and they will be removed from your list. And you might be surprised just how many games are in this list as well, especially games that you've probably never played. Okay, now if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you should already know that every month we get free games added to the library to download. Okay, free is a bit of a stretch here, as we are of course paying for the sub, but you know what I mean. Now each month this list of games is updated and you only get 1 month to add them to your library before they're gone. But all you need to do is click Add to Library. You don't actually have to download these to your PS5. And once you've added it to your library, you will be able to download and play these games for as long as you have an active sub, even after the game is removed from the catalogue. So it is definitely always worth adding them for future reference. The other thing we get as part of the premium plan, which is the top plan on PlayStation Plus, is the Sony Pictures catalogue. This includes dozens of movies from their own Sony app. Now there's a mixture of films in here, some great and some not so great, but if you're already paying for the sub, you might as well make the most out of it. And did you know that the LEDs on the front of the PS5 and on the controllers can be dimmed? Now I don't mind how bright they are, but if you are playing in a dark room, you might want to adjust this. For the console, go to Settings, System, Beep and Light, then you can reduce the brightness from bright to medium or dim. And on the controller, go to Accessories, Controller and Brightness. Again, you can change this from bright to medium and dim. And finally, if you want to stay organized with your games, you can add them to folders or games lists. Head over to the game library and your collection tab and simply click on any game and choose Add to Game List. You can add multiple games and call it whatever you'd like, so maybe for the ones that you're currently waiting to platinum. Now when you head to your library, you will have multiple folders across the top for whichever games you're playing. Like I have a folder for my 4-player games when people come round to play, or one for all of my VR collection. Oh, and don't forget, you can also pin up to 5 games on your home screen. screen. So if you don't want to lose a particular game from being moved off your dashboard, press the Options button and choose Keep in Home, and that game will remain in the recently played games list until you remove it. Well, I hope that was useful and you found at least one new tip in here that you've not seen before. And should we make a deal? If there was one tip in here today that you've never seen, you have to hit that subscribe button. Now drop a nice PS5 in the comments and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out my top tech of 2025 video next. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and follow me everywhere. Until next time.